This is a TalkStation original podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Paper Boys podcast. I'm JJ Smith.
And I'm Zach Nally.
We are looking ahead to the high school football season, and we've got the dean of county high school football coaches.
This guy's been doing it forever.
Just means old guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that just that?
We're starting to see a little gray in the temples there.
Dude, like I'm aging in dog years. I think it goes back to those three kids we were talking about earlier too, though.
Entering year 11, West Carteret coach
cow.
Daniel Barrow.
That can't be true.
11 years.
No, it doesn't seem like that.
And you're starting to get to territory where really it's going to be.
I was gonna say, like, what?
David Perry's only going to be. They're going to be the only one.
Is that the only one?
I think we're at.
How long was
I
he?
think we're already at that point. No, maybe Tom Frazier at East might still be more. Than
Oh, that's a good
so.
one.
But you're getting into territory where
we need to look at Gordy Patrick too, right?
I think you got Gordy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
West, it's
Because
like-
there was a couple stints with
That's
Gordy.
right. No, I think it's like.
Really?
I think David Perry's the only one in your
Wow.
target range there that you're looking to chase down.
Okay, so all that means is I'm old. That's
Well,
it.
you must be doing a good enough job of keeping you around.
Yeah, good enough.
Well, tell us about the 2025 Patriots. How they looking?
You tell me.
Apparently, I hear lots of good stuff.
Okay.
We're going to. We just spoke with Andrew Gurley, and we started off a quarterback, and we honestly could do that with West Carteret. We could do that with East. We could do it all three. But
Yeah, absolutely.
the hype I hear around the West Carteret Patriots is the big uglies up front,
Oh yeah.
or the big pretties, maybe we should call them. Because
Yeah.
they're looking mighty pretty over at West
They
Carteret
are
these
pretty.
days.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you're
They're-
going to have a road grading type offense.
Well, so we do have a very good offensive line.
If you want it.
Well, yeah. So yes, they're big.
Yeah.
I think they look kind of good. I mean, I would say ugly.
The big pretties, we'll call them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're a big, strong group.
Yeah.
And they all, they were all doing it last year.
Bring back 4 or 5.
Bring back 4 or 5. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that the good thing about them is they're obviously they got a cohesion about them because they played last year together, which is important. Because the offensive line in a lot of ways has got to be a pretty smart unit, and because that's a group that all 5 got to fit together perfectly. If not, we're going to have problems. And because they've had that year of experience under their belts together, it's going to help them. So not only are they super talented, right, but they've also got that cohesion about them.
Which the line is big, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I love what they're doing. And I love what they've shown so far. They've also got the right mindset, the right mentality. Football guys through and through. They love it. They can't get enough of it. And you throw on top of that, behind them, you got Josh, and then Tanner can do some things with his legs in his own right. So yeah, I think that Tanner, rightfully so, is the Division I scholarship player.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. And
headed to Daniel Barrow's alma mater.
so, funny story about that. I'm not even the most famous Elon player in my own house. My wife got shirts. My wife gets shirts for my kids.
Uh-huh.
And my number at Elon was 16.
Okay.
So, got one for my 1-year-old son, 16.
Nice.
My daughter, 16. West Carteret Patriots, 16.
Uh-huh.
Came to my son. He was like, "Mom, put 13 on mine for Tanner." So I'm not even the most popular Elon football player in my own house.
Kids be like that.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, yeah, I'm a notch below Tanner even at home. Rightfully so, though. He's way better player than I ever even could dream of being. So
Plus, you're just dad, so.
And I'm dad. I'm boring dad.
Boring, exactly.
I'm just boring dad. So he's incredible. And has shown so much growth since last year too. So played spectacular last year, and then is even better so far. So I super excited for him. And then so you talk about them, and then on top of that, that road grading line, the position that sometimes gets lumped in with that offensive line is the tight end too, right? So that tight end is Jay Murray, who's been varsity player for a few years. Just got a scholarship offer to UNC. Pembroke's a great player in his own right too, and he's put on a lot of weight and he's stronger and he's faster. Yep. So and he has been showing some great things physicality wise, blocking and all that stuff this year. So I've been super impressed with that whole crew, that whole unit right there. That hopefully can maybe open up some holes for us this year.
Give us the names of those 4 returning starters.
All right, so you got Noah Miller, Alan De La Cruz, Aiden Seckley, and Jonathan Castillo.
Right,
were the guys that are coming back from last year's team. But it can't go without saying that also in that mix is a guy who started as a sophomore on our offensive line, but last year was primarily a defensive guy and is possibly looking to maybe fill in that hole as Jaden's Gooding.
Okay.
So Jaden's actually, he's got a year of offensive line. He was our center when he was a sophomore. He would be possibly slated at the tackle spot, but so he's got tons of experience too. And there's a few other guys in that mix that we're looking at that could possibly.
You were saying you could end up having like 10 seniors on offense.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
One of those taking advantage of that offensive line would be running back. Does he prefer Josh or Joshua?
Josh
Bowman, who ran for 785 yards and 3 touchdowns as a junior. He's a lot bigger and stronger this year.
For sure.
This is a group that only ran for 100 yards 3 times in the first 7 games.
Right.
Started to pick up near the end of the season.
Yep.
He's back. Yes, go ahead and bring it up.
Zach says bigger and stronger. You don't miss Josh Bowman on the football field.
JJ sent me a photo when he went to go to practice.
Yeah.
This kid looks like Tim Tebow out there.
Tarzan.
I mean,
I know.
I remember being in high school, and there were sometimes these kids would come back from the summer, and you'd be like, what happened to you over the summer? Where did you go? Like, what did you do? This kid looks next world level of taking his physicality to the next level for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like
hard to describe.
Looks like he eats weights.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Doesn't lift them. I chew them and spit them out.
Sure.
Yeah, but he's, man, talk about a kid who's busted his butt. All of them have, though, so genetics play a big part in, all that stuff too. So, but he's been killing it. And, but he what's great about it, he looks like that, but he also runs with some physicality too. So that's awesome.
Do you expect that running attack to pick up where they left off last year?
I think so. Yeah, I do. I think so. And then, that should kind of open things up a little bit more for the passing game too. We faced, even when we got the run game going towards the end of the season, we still faced extremely light boxes because they would, teams wanted to lighten the box. So they had plenty of people out there in coverage to prevent, Tanner from connecting with Sean and Josiah.
Sean Cartwright, Josiah Jones.
And Landon and Nehemiah.
Yeah. You were loaded as a receiver.
Right. And then also Jay, so they in Dallas. So they wanted to take that away, give us the run. So we started to be able to take advantage of that a little bit towards the end of the year. I think that this year it'll be a little bit more. Teams are going to have to balance it up a little bit, and I don't think they're going to be able to sell out one or the other, which will help both aspects of the offense to be successful.
Yeah, you said in the Carteret County News-Times season preview that you didn't want to be a good 7-on-7 team anymore. You want to be a good football team.
That's right. So right. And I think there's a lot to that. I got a lot of questions about that. What do you mean by that, Coach? That wasn't a slide or a dig or anything. It's just a mentality and an approach.
We understood what you meant.
Did the 7-on-7 community take that to heart?
No, it was just kind of people start thinking like, okay, what's he talking about? Who's he talking about? Is he taking it? It was nothing more of just having that mindset. I had to tell a parent today that football has gotten so pretty. It's gotten so pretty. You know what I mean? Like there's people want to wear the least amount of pads as they possibly can. But it would be what they see on TV. And then I saw something on Instagram yesterday where they talked about like the John Madden era, Raiders, where those guys were making casts on their hands before the game so they could club people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't nothing pretty about football back then. And, it's evolved especially in the summertime when you're limited with the amount of contact it can be, to be so on the other side of it. And football really, honestly, is probably falling somewhere in the middle now more than anything. But we just want to make sure that we're not just being, just too much flash, and just have a mindset of being able to do the tough things that's required in football to be successful. So that was it. So yes, just trying to be able to be a little bit more physical.
You were able to explain yourself.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you and I talk, we're just talking, and we've talked so much that I know you and I get it, and then sometimes when I read it, I'm like, well, that sounds weird.
Sure.
Like coming from somebody maybe who doesn't really understand or whatever, like football is okay, I should have probably went into a little bit more detail or whatever, but I know that you and I get it, and sometimes it's like, well,
not to take up for myself, but I thought I explained it pretty well, and you, either I said or you said that it wouldn't hurt to eat up some clock.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. That's a good point.
Because last year y'all would score
it was just like
70-yarders, 60-yarders,
or
80-yarders.
If we didn't score, you look up at the clock and we took off 19 seconds.
Incomplete.
Well, and speaking of that, the defense is going to need some help with that this year. You did lose 4 of your top 6 tacklers. Ball control, like you mentioned, is going to be crucial. How does that defense look coming into this fall?
So that's a good point, because those guys are being replaced with a lot of guys that are playing offense too, right? So there's a lot of go both ways, going. So you got to think about it. Like if I'm playing a football game and I'm constantly on the field, and then not only that, I'm on the field for 3 hours. That's going to be tough to do for anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. I don't care who you are. So if I'm constantly on the field, never come off, and I'm on the field for 2 hours, I've got a shot at least to be halfway decent in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But expecting to play a game for 3 hours and then play both ways, that's just way too much. So being able to churn clock a little bit, shorten the game down, allow our guys who are on the field an opportunity to be successful in the fourth quarter because they're not over there gasping for air, is the only way that we're going to be able to be successul as a team. So that's got to be a little bit of a mindset going forward. But the good thing about it is, when you have that mindset, but then you have quarterback and then receivers like Tanner and what we got, a lot of times when teams start realizing that and start packing the box, we can still get our offense going without just forcing a run that might not be there, because teams can load up the box and might not have a choice.
Oh, to stay on the clock eating aspect, we don't want to put too much pressure on the young man, but there are whispers of, not since the likes of C.J. Struck have we seen Mr. Alan De La Cruz.
Alan, yeah. So Alan is a tank.
No, but yes,
he's a tank.
But no, I mean, no, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, he's a tank. CJ, that's some pretty high praise. That's
Division I, East Carolina, started at center for the Pirates.
Yeah,
that was legit.
That's legit. That's
Senior,
way up there.
Shrine Ball.
Yes.
Yeah. All State.
Oof, yeah.
Did I say that? We don't put too much pressure on the
that's a lot of pressure.
That's a high bar.
That's a high bar.
Yeah.
I think Alan, as long as with some of these other guys too. So not only Allen, really Noah Miller's probably our most consistent guy.
Okay.
Allen is like the home run hitter. Sometimes
he's the pancake guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Going to have more pancakes than IHOP.
Yeah. Oh, he serves them up, buddy. He serves them up. But then you just keep moving down the line. You got Seckley, who's our center, who he's a guy that he's the road grader guy though. Okay. It's not gonna be, he's not as quick as Miller, or he may not have the pop that Allen does, but he's the guy that you'll see maybe pushing dudes 10, 15 yards down the field, right? And then Jonathan is more, he's got size on him, but he's more of a technician. So he's able to get himself in a good position where he's always always going to do the right thing, and he's going to be in good position to help us. So they all kind of bring something different to the table. So to really say like one is better than the other, I don't even know if I can do that. But I will say, to your point, Allen though will be the one that's like, ooh, whenever he makes a hit, square somebody up and
that's an energizing thing.
That's right.
It gives your team that feeling of confidence.
No doubt.
Yeah.
When he's able to pull and trap somebody.
Yeah.
It could be
a
nice.
big hit can give some juice to the guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People were telling me not to sleep on Mr. Castillo either.
No. Yeah, don't. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So him and Allen are the guards right there for
Okay.
right now. The way we kind of got it set up. So he's like I said, Jonathan's the man that he's very heady. Like he knows and his technique in terms of making blocks. It's not the wow that Allen has. He's not the driver down the field like Seckley is, but he's probably the most efficient. He's the most effective.
He's a technician.
Yes,
Yeah.
like he's able to do things, with his hand placement and his hips and all that, where it's like, oh, man, like they can't do anything with that. Like,
I don't need to coach you up anymore than that.
No, you got this.
Go ahead.
We mentioned Tanner Payne, Elon, Division I quarterback. We've had Brendan Lewis from East Carteret went to Old Dominion,
Right.
and Tanner Payne going to Elon. And in the past 20 years, there's your two Division I quarterbacks in the county. So it's a rare thing in Carteret County.
Sure, and there's been some other really good ones too. Don't forget about McIntosh from East before.
That's right. But he got hurt. That's right.
He got hurt, right?
That's right. Forgot about Adam.
Didn't Bo play quarterback?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was a good one.
Yes, absolutely.
And Campbell's D1. That's right.
That's right. And so
Him missing senior year, just kind of you forget.
yes,
It's true.
But
It's true.
he was one that
That's
was
right.
in my eyes really spectacular, and you can't forget about what else JJ was able to do.
Jay Mofford,
So I think there's been some really good ones, but you're right. Like as far as like quarterback,
Going to play quarterback
next
in
level,
college, right.
absolutely, yeah. So we got Brennan, who I got to see. I first head coaching, got to see this kid play, and man, like he could sling it. And then being able to see Tanner, and it's a little bit different because I saw Tanner when he came in from 8th grade, and being able to see his development. And like the thing about Tanner that, obviously now when you watch him, you see all the physical traits. You see his size, you see his strength, you see how much of a technician he is and how great a ball he throws. But as a freshman, you didn't see that. He was a 14-year-old kid, and honestly, he came in. There was 3 quarterbacks kind of battling for that position, Jay Murray being one of them. And honestly, in practice, like you really didn't see a big separation between all 3 as far as physical tools go. But what made Tanner different as a freshman when he finally got an opportunity to play some JV ball is that when the game was on, like he was as cool and calm and like he just had command of the offense that was kind of like an intangible that you couldn't really coach, and once his physical tools kind of caught up, man, like it's the product that you see now. But like he always had a little something in him. Like the intangible piece of that was always there, and it was evident. You couldn't quite see it until he actually got out there and started taking control.
Brand new conference this year. Havelock back in the mix.
Yep.
Northside in the mix.
Yep. Northside. White Oak.
Gone.
Yep.
What's your thoughts?
Well, first year since I've been at West Carteret that not playing White Oak.
Yeah, I guess that's
Yep.
true. They were
Yep.
part of that.
Always
Yeah.
since I've been here. So that's different, and haven't played Northside in a long time. Been a long time, so getting those guys back is exciting. Been a couple years for Havelock, getting them back is
Couple
exciting.
good years. No, I'm just kidding. No.
and then with that, like the non-conference gets all
Sure.
jumbled up. So it's exciting because it really is just a brand new slate, because you kind of start to know and expect from team what you can get from teams, and then all of a sudden you don't know anymore. And like I couldn't tell you a thing about Northside. We played Northwood. We played them in the playoffs 5 years ago, and I know they had an incredible defense back then. I couldn't tell you a thing about them now. So it's fun. It's fun and it's exciting. It's new, it's one of those things where it is what it is. Everybody goes through it every 4.
Last year, it's silly maybe to say it like this, but you might have been too deep at skill position talent. There's only one ball to go around. I think the good joke Daniel Barrow had last year was, "I wish we were in the Canadian Football League." Had 12 players on the field.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Josiah Jones, Sean Cartwright, Nehemiah Hester, Jay Murray, Dallas Riggin, Landon Mann. I mean, this year that's been cut in half, if not more, right?
Yeah. So So the skill depth is not what it was last year. I like the players that we have. I like the talent level of the skilled players on our team. It's just not, you just don't have a sea of them like we did last year. So that provides some unique challenges. It goes back to that playing both ways thing that I talked about earlier, where our X receiver might have to also be free safety, or Z receiver might also be corner. Whereas last year didn't have to worry about that, at least, and especially early in the season when it's tough to do that, when it's still hot and still not in game shape. I don't care how many sprints you run. It's really hard to get in football game shape. Unless you run a sprint and then tackle somebody and get up and run a sprint and tackle somebody. It's tough. So, navigating that early in the year will be the challenge of our team. But I still like our skill players, and they've been doing some really, really good things so far in practice. Just like our offensive line last year, they're a good group, but they're going to need some experience. They're a group that's going to be much better as the year goes along too. You're going to see some massive improvements from them. I think each game by game.
And you mentioned by the end of last year, Dallas Riggin had really come on.
Absolutely, yeah. He was a stud last year. He was working primarily on defense, and then we started working him in on offense as well. And he ended up being a guy who we kind of relied on a lot last quarter of the season, I would say, on offense. And it wasn't because there was a lack of skill guys there. I mean, all those same, special dudes were there. It's just that he was so good that, he deserved to be in that mix too. So he got out there and got some work, which again is going to help him this year, having that experience and hopefully picking up where he left off.
Conference kickoff for the first time. You got to enjoy that as a coach. Coaches all got together, the Golden Corral in Jacksonville, and did a preseason poll, and the Patriots runner-up in the league, prediction-wise. What do you think about that?
I don't really have much of an opinion on it, honestly. like I said,
not here in front of the microphone, at least. No,
yeah, because you got to think too. Like again, so in that room, we had some people that were in our conference last year. Right. We got some people that were not in our conference last year. So there's a lot of coaches and that haven't played, have no idea about, you know what I mean? So it's kind of just throwing darts, really. You kind of, when you look at those things, you really just kind of look at, okay, of the people in this room, all right, where did they finish last year? You kind of have an idea about what they're coming back and be like, okay, we're just going to go there. So I don't put a whole lot of stock in it, because I do think, I think Croatan's going to be really good. I think Dixon's going to be really tough. I think they're going to be a good squad. Obviously Havelock, and then Northside. Northside's going to be really good too.
They've had a lot of freshmen and sophomores last year, right?
Yeah, not only that, they had a pretty solid JV team. So so they are going to, they have historically been incredible. Yeah. And they've had a tough draw with their conference, and and I think that they're eventually at some point, probably this year, gonna take back off. So I think our league is going to be good. It's going to be tough, and I don't know. We'll see what the end of the year ranking is. Predictions are.
That's what matters.
Yeah, right.
And who do we start off with first Friday night of the year?
So we got Jacksonville at Jacksonville. Ooh. And then we've got East and then North Brunswick before we go into our bye week. So tough. So, Jacksonville's coming off an incredible run, really. They've had deep playoff runs for the last 3-4 years. And we able to look at them a little bit on film. There's not a drop off, boys. I'm here to tell you, there's not much of a drop off. So they're going to be very, very good this year too.
All right, Patriots coming off a 6-5 year. We'll see how they look on Friday nights. We'll see you out there, Coach.
Awesome. We'll see you guys.